Neanderthals have captured our imagination since the day the first fossil was discovered in the valley of Neander, Germany in 1856, with the current scientific consensus being that they are a related but separate branch of the human family, like Denisovans and other classic types. However, while this may be the main scientific view, it isn't the only one. Some, such as the scientists who work at Answers in Genesis, believe Neanderthals to be not a separate species of humans, but, like all of us, descendants of Noah and his sons. Others see Neanderthals as mere ape-like beings. Some even believe they hunted us as a food source, Danny Vendramini being a main proponent of this theory. All have their merits and disadvantages as theories, but they aren't in the scope of what I want to talk about in this essay. Instead, I want to share where I believe Neanderthals came from, as while controversial in the sense it is unorthodox, and runs counter to what is commonly accepted, I think it may be of interest even as entertainment for you. Also, before we begin, please bear in mind that these are simply my personal beliefs on the matter. I in no way claim this is the definitive truth. Prior to 4000 BC, Neanderthals, or any other archaic human group we may think of today, in the context of the ancient world, did unexist. Only humans did. I'm sure most of you who know the evolutionary theory are thinking, of course they did unexist then. They were long dead. While this is true in an evolutionary model, I am an old Earth creationist and believe humans were created by the gods, think Zeus, Odin, Tyrannus, and many, many others, some whom we don't know the names of today, billions of years ago when the Earth came to be. And as such, I do unbelieve there has ever been branches of humanity in the sense the evolutionary model puts forward. In our distant past, humanity shared this planet not just with the diverse animal and plant life, but with other humanoid races such as elves, fairies, reptilians, not David Icke's idea of reptilians, but beings indigenous to Earth halflings, and other groups we have recorded throughout our shared histories. Among these beings were the dwarves, found across the world from the mountains of China to the mountains in the outback of Australia. Dwarves lived in caves and underneath the earth, mining for minerals in separate kingdoms and chiefdoms. Like the elves, they harnessed magic early on, using it to create technologically advanced cities well before humans could do such a feat. For centuries, the two races lived side by side, sometimes in harmony, other times at war. The 5th millennium BC, in my opinion, was the apex of civilization, reaching its high point in 4099 BC, when humans, the world over, possessed technology which far surpasses what we currently have today. For a comparison, even if not perfect, one can look at the level of tech in Star Wars or Star Trek to get a picture of how advanced I believe we were then. But obviously this did not last. In 4090 BC, two superpowers, the Kingdom of Neustra, a nation comprising modern the US and Mexico, and Malay, a state covering modern China, Mongolia, Taiwan, and Vietnam, went to war. Both owned magical technology capable of wiping away entire cities within seconds, leaving only dust and particles in their wake, making our modern-day nuclear weapons look like playthings in comparison. Neustra launched its automaton, weapon infused with both raw magic and nuclear power in the form of a rocket, at Malay's capital city of Neon, which sat where modern Shenyang now is, reducing it to nothing. All of its residents, 2 million of them, gone in seconds. Malay retaliated in kind, killing 1 million people in their strike. The war continued into August of 4090 BC, when both were destroyed, leaving the Earth scarred and the people on it devastated. Magical nuclear fallout came next, killing millions of more people. The worst was yet to come. In 4000 BC, the world experienced a wave of catastrophic events that nearly ended life on the planet. These included dozens of meteors striking the Earth, earthquakes, and a global flood which destroyed what remained of the previous civilizations and plunged every race and species into a struggle for survival. Many of the surviving humans fled into caves and up into the mountains, where they came into contact with dwarves. These interactions, by and large, were positive, both groups helping the others survive in this post-apocalyptic hellscape. And it is this, I believe, which gave rise to the species we now know as the Neanderthal. Born with the traits of both races, the height of the humans with the stocky build, pronounced eyebrow ridges, bulbous noses, and strength of the dwarves, Neanderthals were not an isolated phenomenon, as fossil evidence bears out. it is likely they developed independently across the planet, though perhaps it is possible one group in Northern Europe or thereabouts spread out into Asia, or vice versa. From the time they left their underground homes, these mixed bloods fought the surviving human populations for resources. The new world they found themselves in being one of constant struggle, where one small misstep could mean the end not only for oneself, but the tribe as a whole. But even while the Neanderthals fought humans and other races for resources, they also intermarried with them. So much so, in fact, that all humans alive today carry some amount of Neanderthal DNA in their blood, and thus, in this author's opinion, descend from dwarves. For 910 years, the Neanderthals dominated the landscape, but their numbers were decimated in 3090 BC, when the Great Flood, also known as Noah's Flood, tore across the planet. While it didn't drive them to extinction on its own, Noah's flood did greatly impact their population numbers. Neanderthal survivors either joined human groups or banded together themselves and retreated into their cave homes where they continued to eke out an existence, but the flood wrought irreversible damage to the species. By 3000 BC, the last Neanderthals died in Gibraltar off the coast of Spain, ending a short but intriguing chapter in the history of life. Despite their extinction as a separate species, the blood of the Neanderthals continues on today in their human descendants. A gift from a hardy and brilliant people who once walked the same pathways and byways we now follow.